Hello everyone and welcome. Today we'll be taking a look at a highlight best-of-3 series of professional StarCraft 2. Joining me here, map number 1 shall be Ultra Love. In the upper right corner we have a Protoss, red probes belonging to MaxPax. And their Zerg opponent here, the Swarm in the bottom left. In blue, it is Solar. Playing for Team Falcons. That sounds new. How long has that been there? How late to the party am I on that one? Late to the party, as is apparently MaxPax's probe, because we have a hatchery in the hatchery's location. No issues, no problem, problems, no problematic behavior. MaxPax doesn't even care. It's just no scout. It's fine. It's just a Zerg. Let them do what they want. It's not going to stop them. MaxPax must be cooking up something. Must be doing something that I would say requires maximization. We could call it, efficient use of resources. It's probably some form of sharp timing related build. Why is the cyber core dark right here? Is it the Overlord? It could be the Overlord, actually. Shadows in this game. You wouldn't believe me if I told you this game was made in like 2010. Okay. I'm going to go with its shadows from the Overlord. We'll try to check back in on that one. That's my random squirrel distraction for the first 2 minutes of the game. I'm allowed another one in a couple minutes. All right. We've got an Adept coming out. Tech choice from the Protoss has shown itself. It is Stargate. And my hunch is probably going to be something that rhymes with either Phoenix or Boyd Ray based on that rally. Oh no, we're going with a Boracle. Okay. Gotcha. Alright, changing that rally, changing up the mind. Stalker comes out. It was the Overlord. Look at that shadow. Very nice. Alright, Stalker going to bully and abuse this Overlord to its heart's content. Adept on the other side, doing likewise, harassing a few drones. One of them even going down. I saw one kill on the Adept. Was the Overlord picked off? Oh yeah. Overlord picked off, one drone down. So far, a flawless match from the Protoss. Well done. Indigos, they've only killed 2 units. Yes, I know. But it sounds very dramatic, doesn't it? And that's my job, that's my purpose here. To use fancy words and sound dramatic. I agree. Queen struggling, both on and off of creep, it would seem, deciding to just go for it, give her life to get a little hull damage on that Oracle. No other answers present here. A couple other queens have to rotate from the bases. We got a very fast Twilight. Oh, 2 Oracles, okay. Stop, not going up to 3 though. And those, the gateways are a little suspicious. What is that, 4? 4 gate. You're not doing something Adept flavored, are ya? Oh my god, it's Glaives, of course. Alright. Well, buckle up, Buttercups. This could be a quick one, depending on how much damage MaxPax actually gets done with this. He's definitely warping in more Adepts. Those gates are going to come online, and I'm going to say, go out on a rather short limb and say it's going to be more Adepts. So, timing probably, MaxPax is going to probably want to hit, I would say, between 6 and 7 with this. No Prism, though. That's a key factor. Usually with this type of play, this type of glaive move I'm referring to, you would be getting a robo with this and a prism to reinforce your warp ins, help out, get more Adepts on the field, actually try to shut down the Zerg with enough damage. I mean, the Zerg just crumbles, just falls this early. Solar, though, has an opportunity, I will say, because with no robo, no warp prism, there's no reinforcements. Ooh, solid energy overcharge on this Oracle. Help out with the defense, keep those Zerglings away. And speaking of keep those Zerglings away, keep them away from both doing a bit of damage and from seeing what is coming. Solar is going to be catching this, I think, right as it hits. The Hydra Den is not yet done, so it's going to be mainly just Queens and Zerglings to deal with this. The first of the Shades completes. The Lings are able to lock down most of the Adepts right underneath the Overlords. The Queen's putting in a lot of work to help out, and this is a solid hold. Oh my gosh, this was good on Solar's part. Only one drone one adept makes it to the drone line. 7 probes died too. I'm guessing to some Zerglings, just a run by. Solar shut that down magnificently. Okay, even not losing too many drones to a follow-up attack, just a few adepts over here at the third location. Hydras are out now, which means Solar's going to probably be fine. I can't imagine Adepts breaking through Hydra production at this point. Not without more reinforcements. Sit down, Zergling. Okay. Fine. Sit on your hands. Think about what you've done. MaxPax continuing to warp in Adepts, perhaps just for the defense. Adding on gateways, trying to get Blink. The Robo as well, wherever it is. Here it is. Here's the Robo. Now it's going to be Solar's turn, though. The cards have changed. Balance of power has shifted. Solar appears to have cut drones, too. 57. That's a very odd-looking 66 drones there. What an unusual time, I would say, to cut it. Like 2.5 base saturation there. But Solar's got it mathed out. He's got the plan, and he's got a lot of Hydras on the Protoss' side of the map. Stalker, Force Field gonna hold the front door. That's helpful at least. Force the armies to contend with each other. Another Force Field goes out. I think Guardian Shield might have been the better move here, though, with all of these Hydralisks. Battery on the high ground still holding strong. The Cyber Core goes down. That means no more Stalkers, no more Adepts. It's gonna be... I think it's going to be up to 1 Colossus coming out of the Robo in a minute here. The ground forces appear to be doing fine, cleaning up the Hydras on the low ground, forcing Solar to pull the high ground ones back. And you're caught between a Sentry and some angry Charge Zealots. Well, they don't have Charge, actually. They're slow lots. My mistake. Either way, it's a terrible spot to be in if you have claws for hands and no legs, so apparently Solar's gonna have to back up. Lings and Hydras working together. Chaos and madness, but not enough to actually break MaxPax just yet. Did we get a Cyber Core? We rebuilt the Cyber Core more forward than it was before. Moreward, if you will. Yes. Is it a good decision? Probably not, but it's the decision we are left with at this point. If this core goes down, do not. No. Some Hydras are hitting it. Oh god, the Colossus shows up. Laser Giraffe trying to intervene here. The ground force is actually not holding this one back. Are we really gonna lose the core? Oh my god, the Cyber Core goes down again. Yes. Indeed. The Cyber Core has fallen, the base with it, and 22 probes to boot. Solar is doing just fine, it feels, for this. Now, not killing off some of the major tech units, the Colossus count, for starters, of course, very important. But destroying the base, destroying the probe, certainly helps out quite a bit. MaxPax down by 13 workers up against somebody that, frankly, cut drones. We have the third Cyber Core back in the same spot that it was originally. There's no iteration, there's no improvement here, MaxPax. The Cyber Core, you don't have to put the core in danger. Okay, it's okay for it to be like up here with the Stargate. MaxPax, perhaps feeling frustrated, feeling angry, or just sick of looking at his own cyber core, decides to head out onto the middle of the map with 3 Colossus, a handful of Adepts, and some harsh language, which is going to be enough to probably kill a few Hydralisks that are rather emotionally unstable, but not enough to break the entire army, I would wager. Speaking of army, of course, look at that army supply. Solar up 2-to-1 here. That's not usually too good, I would say. Not looking ideal for the Protoss at this point in time. MaxPax's not dead yet, though. Like I said, very high-tech units. Even we've got Templar Archives coming online. MaxPax does actually have the gas to support it, too. It's got 1,000 gas banked up. Will it be for Storm? Probably not. Looking like Archons. MaxPax probably doesn't have the bank, doesn't have the comfort zone to actually get Storm for it. Even though I think Storm would probably be a really solid decision at this point. The composition Solar has gone for, Ling Hydra, and now we're kind of into Roach Hydra, still very susceptible to Storm, very susceptible to that splash damage and disruptors, I would say, as well. Probably lean off the Colossi at this point. Hey, take your foot off the Colossi pedal, so to speak. Yeah, put it on the Observer button. That's better. I like Observers. Armies begin to move around the map. It will be spotted, of course, by Solar, thanks to all of this creep. I don't understand why MaxPax is out on the map right now. Like, this... I feel like it's maybe just to try to give a little breathing room to get this base up and running. Because MaxPax needs to expand. There needs to be a base here. Solar's gonna find it in progress. Which is not, I would say, a great time for the Protoss to get discovered. But here we are. Solar, I think smelling blood in the water with that base, wants to try to take it out, wants to move a bit forward. Corrosive Biles dealing some terrible, terrible damage to one of the Colossi. Definitely forgot his Corrosive Bile umbrella that they probably should just strap to the top of the Colossi, if I'm being honest. We just need like a tarp. Okay, just tape a big umbrella or a tarp over the top of the Colossi. That way, no more Corrosive Bile, no more problems, right? Because, you know, corrosion and umbrella fabric definitely go together. Archon's leading the front charge. This is a scary army, I will say. 3 Colossi, what is that, 6 Archons, and a boatload of charged Zealots. It's definitely not nothing. I still worry it's not going to be enough, but Solar has given MaxPax quite a few minutes here. We've had more than 1 minute included in the time that MaxPax has been able to catch up, get a base up and running, get an army together, and start to actually be a rather contending force. And MaxPax agrees, it would seem, since we're moving onto the map, we're stepping onto creep. Solar, don't lose it. Well, splitting some of your own forces here, a solid backstab, though. This base left undefended, left in peril. The Colossi start to move up the ramp, get distracted by the local extractor, which sounds about right for them. Ooh, Solar's got lurkers. Do we have detection? There might be an observer in here. It's a little tough to see with all of the Colossi. We've got 2 observers. Neither of them are there. That is no good. Okay. Very no bien, if you will. Observers even picked off thanks to the presence of 1 random overseer up this far. MaxPax did get the base. Not nothing, but is it enough? I'm a little worried with lurkers on the field too. What answers do we really have for the lurkers? I mean, 7 Archons, they'll show up and get angry, I suppose. But it's not ideal. We've only got 1 disruptor, 1 immortal, and less than 1 air units to deal with them. Not looking too good. Some great force fields though, catching a few roaches, a few hydras. Lurker field still rotating around. How's that count doing? 13 lurkers. You heard it there first, I suppose. Rock tower collapsed, giving Solar a Probably much appreciated barrier. Wall. The Viper. Decent feedback. Shuts down one of the Vipers, doesn't kill it off. There is detection here. MaxPax has increased the observer count following the army. Just now needs to kind of fight away from the lurkers. Might be able to pick off things non-lurkers shape, but now we're committing. We're committing to a fight in the lurker field. Well, there you have it. You walk into a field of 13 lurkers with no real lurker answer. That's exactly what's going to happen. Solar is going to take map number 1. Map number 2 in the series shall be Araholm, a TLMC map, not a ladder map, you kids. You're hearing that name right. Makes no sense, doesn't sound right. You are correct. It is not on the official ladder, at least not yet. In the bottom left here, we'll start with the victor from map number 1, the blue Zerg. It is Solar, aka Lurker Field, I will call him. And in the upper right, the red Protoss deciding to contend with said aka Lurker Field. It is MaxPax. Will the decisions continue? Will we have differences? We already have differences, I will say. Deviations on the menu. The probe is here, doing what probes do best. Causing problems, terrifying Terrans, perhaps setting up shenanigans. Like Indigos, there's no Terrans on this map. Why would you make that comment? Because I know there's a Terran, there's at least one Terran watching this. And they're mad. Okay, they are furious at this little guy. They're like, why don't you even pull a drone, Solar? Okay, it's a probe. Don't you know what probes do? Everybody else is probably like, yeah, we're quite well aware of what probes do. Calm down, my Terran compadre. The probe already had a bit of success getting some work done. Solar forced to take the forward 3rd base location for that hatchery, which means the natchery will be quite delayed. By like, a minute. Probably. Not too far if I had to wager. How will MaxPax capitalize on such an endeavor, such a victory? You might be wondering. Apparently the choice is going to be Stargate, to the surprise of no one, I hope. Based on that rally, I am going to go with going a Oracle, at least probably 2. Realistically, I would say 3. Depends on what kind of style MaxPax wants to go for. There's always the need for water, apparently. Hydration alert, take a drink, guys. Remember to take care of yourselves, okay? It's rough out there. I think. I haven't been outside in a while, but it's rough out there. Okay. Now, where was I? Oracles, probably. I have no idea. I completely lost the train of thought. We're going to go with there's oracles, there's drones. You mash them together, one happy Protoss. Got it. All right, perfect. Moving on. Now I got it. All right, so the styles. Yeah, there's the possibility MaxPax could go for what is probably more traditionally called the hero style. Have a lot of blink stalkers, a lot of oracles. By a lot, of course, I mean like 3+ asterisk. Sometimes he makes like 13, but most of the time it's more like 3 to 5. And just a ton of blink stalkers moving out onto the map into the mid game, causing a lot of damage, causing a lot of pressure. It works. It's aggressive, but you have to have, of course, a lot of APM and focus to actually pull it off. Oracle, thus far having relatively decent success. There's 5 kills on him. 3 appear to be drones, I'm guessing. Could be 4, but probably 3 drones, 2 Zerglings on this Oracle. Very nice. Not too bad at all. Second Oracle going to join the fray. And we have a Twilight and a Forge coming up behind this. Looks like they were started right about the same time. Right next to each other. Zoning regulations do allow for this. You can put a Forge and a Twilight right next to each other. Totally fine. That's a lot of gateways. Is it a lot of gateways, though? No, not really. Actually, we're only going up to 5. Only 5 gates. That's not too much. Not like we're going up to 8. Going up to 8 gates at this point. Oh, boy. Like, calling for some sort of absurd spice in a recipe. You're like, do I really put curry in this? And you're like, yeah, of course you put curry in it. It's like ice cream, obviously. They go together. Lings trapping the Adepts here in the mineral line. A really nice spot for the Adepts. They should be able to shade out. Well, they're not going to shade out. The drones pulled off the line. Blood is on their mind. And on the floor, too, because the Adepts got a couple of drones. So, MaxPax, I will say, is he actually having more success with this Adept play than he did with going for glaives in the last map? I think so. I think I'm able to make that claim. Blink is on the way, +1. It appears to be, pardon me, it appears to be shaping up to be that hero type of Blink Stalker move. Solar's going for the exact same setup. Don't fix what ain't broke, I suppose. 3 bases, layer, timing, Lings, and Hydras. What will be the add-on, though? Because map number 1, Solar kind of just went straight into lurkers from this. Got the lurker upgrades, too, I'm pretty sure I saw. And just kind of won with that move. Will there be any different choices? You could go for something different. You could add on something like Banelings, you know? Solar did go for roaches, a little bit of Ravager play, but you could even, I would say, throw in a Spire if you wanted to really be weird and mess somebody up. Go make like 6 mutas or 7 mutas and make them panic. There you go. MaxPax are blinking around here. We're going to quit trying to follow the Stalkers because they are moving around way too much. Solid blink control, solid micro, a forward pylon, and a warp gate here. Going to make that a speedy pylon. I like it. MaxPax deciding now is apparently the time. 106 supply with +1 attack. It's time to make some magic. Alright. +2 on the way. Charge about halfway done, which means reinforcements will probably look like Zealots after another minute or so. Decent stasis ward placement as well. Not that Solar has a lot of Zerglings at this point in time, but if Solar were to have a lot of Zerglings, then that could cause a bit of trouble. Solar, I think, rightfully favoring Hydras at this point. You've got the high ground, Hydra 1 Kenobi, and of course the Stalker MaxPax, MaxPaxican Stalker Walker, I guess, is trying to make its way up the ramp. That was terrible. That's terrible, but I'm okay with it. A single Zergling triggered that one Stasis Ward, which is always a nice move, and more than a single Zergling makes their way into the natural base over here, causing a bit of trouble. They do latch onto the Zealots, which now have charge very clearly, very obviously. MaxPax now blinking around, rotating over to the other side, not finding a lot of success, trying to get up the ramp up against 31 Hydras. That's a lot. Okay. Holy Hydra, Batman. Decent revelation, causing some emotional damage. Mental trauma to the Hydras. Few charge Zealots make their way over here, contend with a Queen. Few Zerglings will not have much success, but does it give MaxPax an opening? Not really. Doesn't look like it's Solar. Locking things down rather pat. I fear MaxPax's timing window on this attack is closing. The Hydra count, I can't get over that. He's going up to 40 Hydras. A lot of Zerglings. He is going for Banes with this, though. Bane speed is on the way. Solar, feeling confident, has enough Hydras now perhaps to contend with the army. Decides to push forward, take out that reinforcing pylon, continue onwards. Slow Banes. Are the Hydras slow too? No, they have their speed. It just feels really slow. That looks more normal. I guess I'm used to seeing them on creep, because they looked really slow off of creep. Another group of Zerg over here on the top side of the map starts to weave its way over towards the Protoss bases. MaxPax did pull all the troops back. I don't think it was a recall, but definitely a somewhat sense of recall now. It is Solar's turn to get some damage done. How will MaxPax hold this off? Storm is going to be the key ingredient. A solid first one goes out. Second one's a bit of a miss. Third and fourth looking good. Decent storm connections, I will say. The splash damage is hurting a lot of the Hydras, but the Hydras do get this Nexus. Protoss base crumbles. Archons on the way. Will they be able to hold the line? The first one definitely not. This is a lot of Hydras. Solar also doesn't care about upgrades. Solar's playing the numbers game here. Okay. Well, another Archon evaporates, dissipates, and disapparates all together. Stalkers and Zealots now angrily keeping the Hydras at bay. Having decent success. Reinforcing Zerglings from Solar is going to cause a problem with that. The Charged Zealots. It's like, do Charged Zealots really counter Hydras? In the same way that Charged Zealots really counter anything else. They're just angry and they get right up in their face. Like you've probably heard me before. I'm like, Charged Zealots deal with lurkers not terribly. It's more just because the Zealots don't care. They just get up in the face of the lurker. If they're actually successful, they get on top of the lurker and detection is still in play. They're not too bad. They're not terrible. They don't deal with them pretty much the same way they deal with most things, I suppose. If you get enough of them or they get angry enough, then suddenly they can make miracles happen. Now, MaxPax is still alive. What's our options, though? We've got 5 Templar, a couple Archons. Energy overcharge is probably going to be rather key. Oh, finding a few Banelings, that's always nice. Unless you're the Zealot. Okay. The Zealot. Gone. Reinforcements. Warped in. Oh, MaxPax attempting to get another base here in the bottom right. Trying to switch that around is not going to have success, though. Solar shuts that one down before it even gets completed with its warping. Nope. Nope, Reynor, I'm going to go with. Solar now just kind of rotating around. Still, it feels just trying to build up the numbers. It's storms. I think it's the storms. Okay. Solar knows there's Templar in the army. MaxPax has 5 Templar, some of which with energy for multiple storms. So Solar's playing it careful, playing it cautious. I do like the approach. If MaxPax holds this, it is entirely possible to win. Great storm goes out onto both the Hydras and the Banes. Decent connections, but not good enough on the Banes part. The Templar are still alive. The Charged Zealots still here, still angry. Most of the Zerg forces are wrapped up in the stasis fields now. That is not good. Templar are gone, though. Little less on the splash damage front now. It's such a ragtag scrapper battle. We got 2 Archons, 6 Zealots, another energy overcharge helping out the Templar, which is going to give him enough for 2. We've got 2 storms still. Solar still trying to morph in some Banes. Not going to have a lot of success. A great storm takes out some of the Banes there. I think the next storm probably needs to go onto the Hydras. And there it is. Picks off one of the Hydras. MaxPax actually holds it. Solar is gonna tap out. Was there something else going on there, Solar? Was something happening over here? Let me see, because that feels a little sudden. Yeah, Solar has spent a lot of the money, a lot of the economy on trying this attack, and it's not working. MaxPax is still fine, still alive. Ah, the single Zealot. Full of rage, full of fury. Maybe Solar thought that was more than just one Zealot. But either way, it was the one Zealot that did him in. MaxPax is going to tie it up, take map number 2, which leaves us at 1-1. The grand finale in this series shall be played on the map Whispers of Gold here. Best-of-3 coming to a close. One of these players is walking away with the status, the title of victor here. In the upper left corner, the blue Protoss holding strong, holding steady. Map number 2 it is. MaxPax. And in the opposite corner, the Zerg, having a bit of a tough time closing out that game. A lot of Hydras, not a lot of hope. It is solar. Less Hydras, more lurkers, perhaps, if map number 1 is to be any sort of indicator. Probe. MaxPax here, continuing the trend from map number 2. Said, ooh, that went pretty well. I ended up winning that game. I think I should do that stuff again. So, Probe goes across to the other side of the map, already having mild success, as mentioned. Denying that natural location for the hatchery. Solar goes for that. Not the forward third this time, but the line third, I would call it. Slapping down the spawning pool. Things are looking normal. Fine, even. Cybercore. We did not have any more Cybercore shenanigans from, as we saw in map number 1. Poor Cybercore went through the real ringer. He was the real victim. Okay, whoever's in charge of the Cybercore. Is it the same executor? Is the executor just in charge of all Protoss buildings? Do we know? Or are there like established lieutenants? Like, you're the Cybercore leader. You're the Twilight Council leader and member. Although, realistically, there's probably more than one person. More than one Protoss, I should say, in the Twilight Council. Because we've got at least, like, 4 factions now, right? We've got the Ire Protoss, the Dalam, maybe we could call them. We've got the Nerazim, which I guess is everybody now that all of our nerve cords are severed. We've got the Purifiers, Robotic and Glorious, and some Tal'Darim, I think. We saw at the end of the Legacy of the Void campaign, Alarak was like, you have one opportunity, you can join these weak, feeble Protoss, if you will, but do it now, or else you're stuck with me forever, he said to the Tal'Darim. Verbatim, of course, that's how it went, I'm sure. Right, Alarak?
Are you incapable of listening, or just comprehending?
Yeah, probably. I'm gonna go with that one. Alright, moving on. Distraction complete. I always have some semblance of strange and absurd distraction. Everybody's like, wow, this guy's really weird. And I go, yes, I am really weird. No, I'm not going to change, though, because I kind of like it. The Adepts shading around, causing a bit of havoc, a bit of chaos here. Picking off just mainly Zerglings thus far. Drones slightly threatened. Not feeling too great. Uh-oh, drone actually going down right as the shade completes. Oracle will be the follow-up to the surprise of, hopefully, no one. Another Oracle following up behind it. We're not going to really see how this game's going to look for another minute, I think. Once we see what MaxPax wants to do beyond these initial Oracles, will it be a Twilight? Will it be Robo? I kind of doubt it'll be Robo. It feels like Twilight's the natural follow-up. And you're either getting, Blink, Glaives, or Charge, if you're wanting to have a bit of fun. 2 drones went down, probably to the Oracle. The Adepts, well, they're not going to be caught, actually. They're shading around. Spore Crawler coming up in the 3rd base, along with a plethora of queens, a verifiable book club of queens here. We'll be able to shut down both of the Adepts, the Oracles now, the only real hope. Still nothing. No Twilight. Oh, here we are. Finally getting it. Alright, Twilight and Forge coming up together. Thank gosh. Oracle flying around, being an Oracle-shaped nuisance, but nothing more. 3 drones have gone down. How many drones in total? 7? Not bad. Not, game-ending, world-shattering, but definitely not nothing. This is what I'm waiting on. Okay. Blink. Expected. Normal. Standard. A lot of gates coming up. So MaxPax looking to really just kind of rinse repeat map number 2. Which I would agree with after seeing the performance. MaxPax can hold it, of course. Totally fine. Has the control, has the decision making to handle that, absolutely no trouble. And Solar, of course, having a bit of a tough time overall with it, did repel the initial Blink, Oracle attack. That wasn't the key ingredient, the key issue that was going on. It's not like MaxPax won the game with that first, Blink Stalker related attack, but MaxPax did cause enough damage, that it was worth doing again, I suppose. Solar, on the other side, of course, doing very similar, we saw, for both games. Now, they both have their pattern, their desires, it would seem. I'm going to call map number 1 perhaps a bit of a deviation, an oddity in MaxPax's repertoire, or armory, we could call it, because the glaive timing just didn't really do a whole lot. Solar shut that down pretty well. Solar going for the same, a lot of Lings, a lot of Hydras. What will be the addition, the add-on to such a composition? Time will tell. Blink is finishing up now, which means Stalker is going to be moving out onto the map, take a bit of control, start to pressure perhaps the forward base, forward hatchery. Not if Solar's Zerglings have anything to say about it, though. I'm not sure they have anything to say at all. Do Zerglings talk? They probably more just grumble and growl. Well, they're going to pick off one of the pylons. The Adept Stalker battery combo will be more than enough to handle that. The Hydras, once again, holding the high ground. We find ourselves in a very similar situation, albeit with a different tile set. Solar's Hydra is trying to hold the top of the ram. Zerglings trigger the stasis, which is always nice to trigger. With Zerglings, that is. That was probably more Zerglings than Solar wanted to use, but still not terrible, I would say. I'm sorry, where are we going? He's over here. Solar. Okay. Now, MaxPax probably sees that little army and is like, where'd you go? Okay. I purposely went over here to try to draw your army away. Some Zerglings are going to perhaps be able to pin and catch these Stalkers as I try to get home. Reinforcing Warpin. Do we have charge? Not quite yet. We are just shy of charge here. The Hydra is going to be very successful then. Another group here. Everybody's made it back to the Protoss' side of the map. The Hydras should join, probably should join up here. Focus down these Stalkers. The battery energy struggling as best it can. Storm completes just in time. This feels like a Brood War game. This feels a bit like a Brood War PvZ, honestly. We're trying to hold the Hydras back with cannons and harsh words until we get Storm research. Okay then. Stalkers, Storm, Stormkers. The Stormker composition seems to be holding, for now, at least. Every moment that Solar doesn't destroy this Nexus, I will say, is a big win for the Protoss, because look at the worker count. Economy's looking relatively similar. Banks, though, the bank is in favor of the Protoss at this current moment. Solar's adding on more units. He's trying to just shut this down, I think. Perhaps try to take the game. MaxPax still investing, though. I don't know about this Nexus right now, but the tech, I think, is a fine choice. The Robo, I think, is the best decision right now you could make. You got to get the Robo. You got to get the Robo Bay, I feel, to get even just 2 Colossi out here to help out with the Hydras and force Solar to go up into Vipers to buy yourself a much-needed moment. Storms on both sides of the ramps here. Storms abound, actually. That's a lot of Hydras left over, though. A reinforcing Warpin of Zealots is going to be necessary. Upgrades? MaxPax does have the advantage for right now. +1 attack. The Hydra count dwindling. Evaporating even. Some Zerglings are going to come out of the Stasis Ward and trap the Archon. Uh-oh. That's not good. Other Zerglings? I mentioned I didn't like this Nexus. These Zealots make their way across, pick off a couple drones, pick off a Queen Regicide on the field. This was a fantastic move by MaxPax. Getting a few Zealots out there, force Solar to pull back a little bit. Another Stasis. Well, they will be totally fine there. Another group of Ling Hydra. Solar is losing momentum, though. losing both numbers and momentum, I should say. The base completes. MaxPax lets that finish. There's one Templar. It's a decent storm. Hurts the Zealots, too, though. Another solid one goes out. 3 Archons. I still don't know if it's enough. That's a lot of Hydras. With the Stalker and Zealot support, I think they should be totally fine. Solar is actually going to call it here, losing too much. Too many Hydras. Too many Zerglings bleeding off units for the last 5 minutes and change. Solar not investing enough, losing too many drones, and is going to have to tap out, giving the series to MaxPax. A well-earned victory, absolutely well done, well played on both players' parts. I certainly enjoyed that. If you enjoyed, be sure to let me know in the comments below. As always, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day.